To start off today's podcast, I want to talk about what do the Seahawks have to do to finish this season, and that includes this weekend's game against the Kansas City Chiefs. And Sammy, you told me right before the podcast started that it's going to be how cold in Kansas City?
Feels like, so not the temperature, but the feels like temperature is at -6 degrees at kickoff in Kansas City. It's not going to be an easy game. We're talking about the Seahawks going to Arrowhead. Like I said, a -6 feels like temperature on Christmas Eve. And I presented this idea in a video I made. Like those crowds are going to be extra loud. And I'll tell you why. It's just a theory of mine. I feel like for a lot of people, this is like a Christmas present gift, like dropping big amount of money for a family member. Like, this, it's a game of like people. I don't know. I feel like it's a game of people getting like Christmas presents and a one-time opportunity type of thing or first game. It's always like that on holiday games. I feel like it's like it's just those people that are getting like the presents to go. And I feel like the crowd's gonna be extremely loud. Christmas Eve, a holiday, just a fun time to go to a game. So this is not an easy situation for the Seahawks. While we're sitting at 7-7 and pretty much need a win. I'm not going to say a must win, but we need to win a game soon.
Yeah, it's definitely not a must win, but I think we have to win 2 out of the next 3 games. So you lose this game, now every single game left in the season too are both must wins. And then you're also waiting for help. You're not just relying on yourself. You win out, I think you can pretty much safely say, I think we're going to make the playoffs, but winning 2 out of 3, you need help to make the playoffs as well.
Yeah, I think that's where the tricky part comes. There's no guarantees, right? At 9-8, whatever it is this year. I always struggle with the 17
9-8
records.
What are we right now? We're 7-7 right now. So yeah, that would finish 9-8.
9-8 does not at all whatsoever guarantee a playoff spot. I think 10-7 guarantees one, right? If you win the next 3, we're pretty much guaranteed if we win the next 3, as long as the Giants and Commanders don't both win out, we would be in a playoff spot. But so the 9-8. This is why I think in the Seahawks locker room, even though I know it's not a must win, right? I know that it's in the locker room, it's a must win. And I don't want to give a corny answer. I'm not saying like, because obviously some people would be like, every game's a must win for pro athletes. Yeah, I know. But to the Seahawks, this is pretty much a must win because they know like any loss probably takes their chances down another 20-30% chance to make the playoffs. So even though it's not technically a must win, it is one of those like we really, 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 really could use a win situation. And it's gonna be interesting. Our defense has been getting its ass kicked, George. But maybe we're gonna catch a little bit of a break with freezing cold temperatures, harder to throw the ball. We're playing against Patrick Mahomes and maybe the most lethal offense we've seen in the last 5 years, like in total.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what other offenses we've played. I'm sure we played some lethal offenses as well, but that's a good, maybe one of the most lethal offenses. Man, yeah, like I have this weird feeling we're gonna go into Kansas City and win because that's kind of the fucking weird ass Seahawks do, and there's no like rhyme or reason for me to say that, but don't think we feel like just one of those teams that win when we're supposed to not.
Yes. And I feel like that's why we felt like last week, and I felt like we were going to beat the 49ers potentially because we lost the games we're supposed to win, like a game against Carolina. Mm-hmm. And then you go ahead and I thought there was going to be that shot we go beat the 49ers, but maybe with the 49ers, we didn't get that win we were supposed, like with a random win that we get usually, and it's going to come this week. I did see that tweet. I think we one of us sent it to each other where it's like teams are 3-10 after playing the Texans, and so maybe we're just catching. Maybe we're catching the Chiefs on the wrong week.
Hey, look, if the Texans can give them problems, why can't we?
The Texans' defense might be better than ours. I don't even know.
I agree with that. True, but I'm just saying in general. I mean, they gave them a scare. Maybe we can give them a scare too.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's impossible. But what I am saying is, so I just wanted to look up some stats really quick because I was pretty sure when I said the most lethal offense, like to me, I don't mean it just by stats. I think this is a very important part to talk about because we're talking about Seahawks defense the last couple of weeks has been like historically bad.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And to me, I think it's clear as day that the most lethal offense over the last 5 years has been the Chiefs. I mean, like since Patrick Mahomes come in to the league, like there's no offense I feel like people fear more. This season alone, they have the most all-purpose yards in the NFL. They have 6,012. The next closest team is the Buffalo Bills at 5,600. They're averaging 430 yards per game, which is 30 yards more than the Buffalo Bills, who are at second. And they have, their passing yards are at 4,500 for Patrick Mahomes, which is almost 600 more than the next closest guy. So like we're talking about an offense, even though it's funny because it felt like ever since I feel like the last couple of years we just ignored how good the Chiefs continue to
right.
Be. Do you feel that way too? It's like just ignored how dominant the team is.
Yeah, because we always do this in every fucking sport. It's unbelievable. Like when a team is really good, we just decide that we don't want to talk about them anymore. Like no one just sits there and talks about like, I don't know, the Golden State Warriors. People got bored of in baseball when the Astros, for example, we fucking hate. Like everyone ignores the Astros, and now it's like, yeah, people ignore the Chiefs because they're really good. People get bored.
They get bored of this, like the greatness, and it's because it is amazing what they've done, and it's amazing what Patrick Mahomes has done, obviously, and it's amazing what Andy Reid has done with Patrick Mahomes. But at least confidently, I could say at least we have a great head coach.
Yes.
And I know a lot of people will be like, "Oh, no, we don't fire Pete." Whatever. I'm like so tired of that crowd of like fire Pete. Like he proved it this year that fucking like Russell Wilson can't even throw 5 yards without him. Like without this like organization. Our coaching staff's fine. We just don't have all the talent we need, but we have a good coach. It's a good coach going against a good coach, which always you have a chance, right? Just like Bill Belichick always has a chance to go randomly beat a team like Kansas City. I feel like the same way as the Seahawks. But I'm just hoping this weather does slow down their offense somehow. Maybe the freeze chill, because our defense is being torn up by every offense. And I'm scared about facing the Kansas City Chiefs. But I will also ride with you on this crazy theory that we're going to go in and win. And the only reason I'm riding with you, it's blind optimism.